It's all about just, where I come from, it's just about being fair. We're not asking anybody to do any more than anybody else. Just be fair, decent. Trump got a Supreme Court justice for overwhelming reason. By the way, never before has there ever been a hearing on a Supreme Court justice once an election began. That's never occurred. But he got his justice for one simple reason: to destroy the Affordable Care Act. He'd been trying since the day he got elected. And if they get their way, 100 million people will lose protection for pre-existing conditions, including 1.3 million Iowans will lose it. Complications of COVID-19 are going to become the next pre-existing condition, allowing insurers to jack up your premiums, delay your coverage. And a lot of young people don't realize this, but before Obamacare, insurance companies charged women more for the same health care they charged men because they could. That'll end. Donald Trump thinks health care is a privilege. I think it's a right. And if we all get out and vote. And by the way, they're going to court in 10 days. 10 days. And as he said, to wipe it all out, end it, all of it. Well, I'll restore the Affordable Care Act, and I'll strengthen and build on it. So you can keep your private insurance if you like it, or choose a Medicare-like public option. We're going to increase subsidies for lower premiums, deductibles, out-of-pocket expenses, surprise billing. And as Teresa said, this time we are going to make sure Medicare can negotiate with the drug companies for prices, reducing them by 60%. I promise you we'll get that done. We're going to make sure we can keep protections for people with pre-existing conditions. Remember what he said when he was talked about the people who were dying and not dying? He said, quote, virtually, this is a quote from Trump, virtually nobody's dying except for people over 65 with heart conditions. Like they're disposable. What the hell's the matter with this guy? No, I'm not joking. Think about it. Think about it. And then, when he was told for the first time that we're like we did today, 1,000 deaths a day, remember what his comment was? He said, it is what it is. Well, it is what it is because he is who he is. That's why it is what it is. These guys are something else, man. And meanwhile, the actuary at the Social Security Department says, if Donald Trump gets what he's saying, he said, you reelect me, I'm going to change Social Security. The actuary says, if the change occurs as he's promoting, it will bankrupt Social Security by 2023. Go home and tell your parents and grandparents that. That's a fact. As Teresa said, I'll protect Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. And let's not forget how Donald Trump, weak and chaotic China trade policy has cost farmers and manufacturing so badly. Agricultural exports to China during the Trump years have been 40% lower than during the Obama-Biden second term. On his watch, and this really bugs me, on this watch, ethanol margins have tanked and Iowa's manufacturing facilities are idle and even closing. He even says, and I love this quote from him, he says, because of his bailouts, our farmers do better now than when they actually had a farm. I'm going to read that again. Our farmers actually doing better now than when they actually had a farm. Where's this guy from? Who does he think he is? Look, I'll do what he's been unable to do. I'll mobilize a true international effort to stop China's abuses so we can strengthen manufacturing and farming in Iowa and across the country. I'm going to hold China accountable, which he hasn't from the pandemic on. Folks, but there's nothing worse, in my view, than the way he has spoken about those who served in uniform. He called them losers and suckers. My son Bo, who many of you knew, volunteered to serve a year in Iraq, gave up the Attorney General's job to do it, won the Bronze Star, the Conspicuous Service Medal, and other awards. He was neither a loser or a sucker. He was a patriot. And Teresa, so is your son Dane, who is in the Army. He's a patriot, like all of your sons, daughters, and all of those of you who have served. It's no wonder that the 6 top generals in the President's administration left and said he does not deserve to be Commander-in-Chief. His own generals in his own administration. No president has ever had that happen. None. And that's why Special Forces Commander Stanley McChrystal, General, and the head of the Navy SEALs, Admiral McCraven, along with 20 other 4-star generals, endorsed me, saying they'd be proud to have me as Commander-in-Chief. A sitting president. And that's why the Military Times quotes, more troops will vote for Biden and Trump. Folks, it's not about me, it's about him. That's why we have to support our military. You vote for me, you're voting for them. And while Donald Trump fails to condemn white supremacy, we can vote to deliver racial justice. A season of protest has broken out all across America. And by the way, legitimate protesting is not burning or looting. Violence can never be tolerated, and it won't. But those protests are cries for justice, for George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Jacob Blake. They'll not soon be forgotten, not by me, not by us, or not by this country.